Hello, it's Kristy here. Welcome to my channel, and today it's all about my March pouch. I beg your pardon, my March calendar. We've done January, February, and now we're up to March. And March is colour. So I've had a little bit of a think about it, and I've decided that I'm going to do colour with fabric. And here it is. I've done my name. I've got beads. And I've got Liberty squares, and what I've done is I've used my AccuQuilt, and I was able to use my square. I can't remember how big that is. 1.5 inches, and it goes down to an inch piece when you sew all the sides together. But I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do that or I'll just leave them random. So that is the plan for now. I like the idea of using up the leftover of my star, and we shall get into it. That's what I probably meant to say. Now let's play around with the piece first. Put our star on, and then I'm going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to piece together the squares. Now I would do this on the sewing machine, but you could do this also on by hand. I'm not the best at doing it by running stitch by hand, I don't think. I don't know, I've not really done it with a Liberty before. I know the stitches are a little bit big and they're a bit wonky. So I'm going to go back the other way. Fill in the gaps. I think my gaps are too big. There we go. Flatten it out and do my best to open up the seams to make it flat. And there we have our 1 inch square. But I will do another one on that side. I'm trying to make different colours, but funny enough, I did like them as the random squares. So this is just me playing with the squares to see how they go. I'll tie, oh, now my needle's come off. Nope, that's not it. Where did it go? There. I'm just trying to, oh gosh, I'm just, what am I trying to say? I'm just trying to play around with the squares at this moment to see if I like them. I'm off, I feel like my brain's in la la land. Yeah, well, if you do a video and sometimes you just don't get it together, I'm not quite sure what happens there. All right, let's just sew this down. Now they aren't going to have the square unless I fold it over. So I'm trying to do little tinier stitches. Then I don't have to go back on myself. actually it is much better going back on yourself. Let me see. I didn't do that tight. Well, that's not too bad. So that's how the squares are going to be. If I fold that over as the end, there, I sort of was trying to make a patch. And that would be folded over there. Oops, that's come undone. That's not very good, is it? Right. I just need to know what the 1 inch, so that's what it's going to look like when they're finished. I think I like the idea of the patch, but I don't like the idea of hand stitching them. But I did like the idea of them being random. Well, I'll just go off and do something with the patches. I've gone away and I've had a think about it, and I quite like the idea of putting these squares anywhere, and then what I'm going to do is come back and put some beads on as well. Okay, thank you. So I've stitched some more pieces down with the pink thread, this is what I'm using. I found it in my stash and I thought it'd be a great way of showing the lovely pink. So this March one is all about colour. So I've coloured it with a pink background, some buttons, some stitching, some lace, and some lovely coloured stars. And I'll chop that bit off before I forget. So where are we up to? About here somewhere. So all I'm doing on this piece is stitching it down with little seed stitches. Nothing too close, nothing too far apart. I just want to make this particular piece as simple as it can be and enjoy the process at the same time. Now you could do the same idea. You could do it with hexagon shapes. You could thread paint your piece. It's just all about colour. What colour do you want to put on your March calendar if you're doing the calendar and following the prompts with me? If you're not, then that's fine. You do your March calendar however you want to do it. I'm hoping I'm going to have enough thread, but I don't think so. So what will happen is I will just go and find the appropriate thread colour that will match, and we'll just go from there. At the end of the day, it's my piece of work, which is being hung up in my craft room. I can take that pin out. I'll put this bit of needle on the edge of the corner. Bunches up a little bit, but I don't mind that. I'm just pushing it down, carrying it through to the bottom and coming back up again just to make the process that little bit quicker. Not too worried about the thickness, the length of my stitches. Some will be smaller, some will be larger, as long as they're not too large. Don't think I'll stitch over the cat, but I will put that over the top there like that. I wanted the cat to be sort of, it feels like I'm going round and round in circles. I wanted the cat to be the feature of the stitch project. Excuse me. Seems to be actually quicker if I just do it the one stitch and then come up. Oh, it's not very good for your eyes, is it? Love that flower, that purple flower there. So these are all just Liberty scraps I had, and when I chose the theme colour, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And the little applique pins are the best little pins to hold your project down. I tend not to get the big pins in my fingers. Well, I don't get the little applique pins in my fingers. I tend to get the big pins. I stick them in my fingers. It's always tricky having to do the thread again. I'm just going to bring it over a bit. Nope, I'm going to have to chop the new piece off and see if I can get it going. There we go. And we're back onto the stitching with the last little bit of thread left. Trying to conserve the thread as much as I can. I'll just slip that through there like that, and that will hold that piece. Nearly to the end of my stitching with this colour pink. Time to probably go over this side and fill in here. So I'm just trying to thread, and that's not working. So my needles, oops, my needle is threaded now. Took a while to do. And where are we continuing on? A little bit there and through here. So I better just start along the side here, where I haven't been. Don't you just find needles confusing? Like the one I was using was just such a pain in the neck. It just would not thread my thread. So then I had to go hunt down for my needles. Then I still didn't know which needle to use. Oh, yes, it's just annoying. I like the big eye, but then they're too thick. If you get the smaller eye, like I've got this one here, but I find that too small, then it's too long. You need more thread. I like to use as much thread as I can. Just annoying sometimes. I'm not going to do too much of the stitching because I'm trying to conserve my thread. If I go back that way, I'll use up. I can always come back. If I've got more thread left over, I will just come back. I'll take that out. And fill in the spaces. Don't you just love that fluoro in there? I didn't think I'd like that fluoro pink, but I actually really like it. I might see if I can find my fluoro threads. They are around somewhere. I saw them the other day. They were Sally's threads that she gave me. They're probably in her pile of items. So this represents colour, like I said, and this is colour of all sorts of colours blended together. And without colour, I find that I'm a bit sad or down. I wouldn't say depressed, but I just find I need colour. If I've got colour around me, then I find that everything seems to be working fine. I've got colour in the garden. I make quilts and they're very colourful. I've got petunias out in the garden, left over from Christmas. I just love colour. Right, so I think I will have enough thread, so I will just continue with this one down here. I will continue this, I'll get this finished, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what we can do with some beads. I've stitched it all down, stitched the rick-rack down, and everything's ready to go for my beads. Now I've got my beading needle, some thread, which is just an old thread, J&P Coats thread, super sheen, and it's a lovely piece of thread. These are all the other colours that I have in them. I've got some beads, and I haven't done the name yet. Oh, excuse me. I just had a cup of tea, and we shall get beading. I'm not sure where I'm going to place the beads, so that's another thing I have to think about. So I've got these beads here. And these ones, those are nice little fluoro beads. They might be great on my fluoro thing. I could put a bead in there, so let's do that. So don't be afraid of using beads. Very simple. You just got to make sure you've got a beading needle, which is a very fine needle that goes through the beads. Obviously it goes through that one very fine, very well. But there are smaller beads in here, where they are a lot tinier, and the hole is just enough. There we go. There we go. So you can tell. I'll just tap the screen. You can tell that bead from that bead there. And when I first was doing this, I was watching Corinne from To Be Loved Treasured, and she always said her grandma was a seamstress for wedding dresses, and she always put 2 threads passing through the bead. So that's one. Now this one wants to lie flat, but I thought maybe I should have it lying upwards like that, but it wants to lie flat. So then you just pass it back down again, and it just holds it there with 2 threads so it doesn't break. Then all you've got to do is just come up from the bottom to the next bead, and I might just put another bead in there too. I don't think there's anyone in this one. I think they're all in this one, are they? I don't know actually. Nope. Oh, there's one there. I'm not going to go too crazy with the beads. So down with the bead, give it a tug gently and then come up. Doesn't matter which side of the bead you go up because you're going to, there's a bit of thread there. Let me just cut that off. There we go, that'll do. I don't want to cut it too much in case it threads. Breaks, come up and then go back down. You can sort of go down and through the bead, and go down in one swoop and then pull down. Just be careful you don't get your cotton thread in a tangle. So I'm going to go one more. See if I can find another bead, or I'll do this one if I can find the hole. That's, no, let's just go with, is there any in here? No, there might be one more in here. Let's hope so. If not, then I'll just be two. Looks like there's only two. Oh well, there you go. Two little beads in that one. No, I'm just going to leave that bead. Leave that because there's only two beads. Well, that was good that I'd used up the beads, but I don't know where the beads come from, so I don't know if I can do another one. That's all right, we'll just go back down. It'll just be a holding stitch for that anyway. So let's go over here and we'll put some beads in this spot here. Just got to choose the right beads you want. Sometimes it's a bit difficult because you don't know what you want anyway. Yep, I like that. So I suppose you can audition your bead, and we'll just thread it back up again because it's come out. Sometimes the thread gets a bit fluffy and doesn't want to go in the, there we go, doesn't want to go in the bead needle. So back up again through the hole. I'm not going to explain this all the time because once you get it, and back down again. If you really wanted to be secure, you could just secure that with a few tacking stitches at the back and then carry that on to something else with another bead. Thinking I might like this one. I'm just thinking where I might want to go over here. Don't really have any purple beads. Let's have a look in here. Does that go? I don't mind that. I don't know. Let's have a look again. Oh, look at this one. I like this one. Nope. Hopefully we got it now. Yep, there we go. See how just glides on. Oh, move it over a little bit. Might just put another stitch through that because I came up in the wrong spot. Down we go. Might just put a couple little stitches in. Now it's only going through the wadding, it's not going through the other part. Now on here, you could put a sequin, but it doesn't go, so I'm not going to put it. What I am going to find is this baby bead right here. Don't know if you can see that little bead. Now that is cute. So we will put some more of those around here. Could put it in the centre of the flower. Here I'll do it here to this one here. It's not too far away. See what other colours we got. You can do white. Let's give it a white centre. You're not going to show, the cotton's not going to show too much, but I don't mind it being pink. And then we'll pop over here and see if we can find a nice bead for that one. I think this one here. So beads are a good way of bringing colour and excitement to your piece. There's lots and lots of people who do beads. Fleur Woods does a lot of showcasing her beads on her pieces. I've seen a few people on Instagram. I think there's one lady called Elizabeth, but I'm not too sure what her name is. But she's done some exquisite bead work. But it takes a lot of time and patience to do bead work. So I think that's enough for that one. I'm going to pop over and do this one here. Even though it's pink, I've got pink thread. I can see I've got a green centre there. And maybe I'll put 2 beads on his one. Pop them together. See what that looks like. Doesn't look too bad. Just remember, if you don't like it, you can always pull it out. Put that in there. There we go. I like that. Right. Might just put a bead right here. Now this Liberty tends to fray slightly, so just be careful when you're cutting, when you're using it right. A yellow bead will just be perfect for that. And to do gold. Let's do gold as well. I'm not a super experienced with beading. I'm experimenting just exactly the same as you're watching this. And beading isn't hard, but it's just the construction of it all, isn't it? But once you get going and you start to get a pattern or a rhythm going of what colours you want, then I think the piece will look really nice. It's not too bad. I don't want to saturate my piece with a whole pile of beads. So I'm just going to go over here onto this, and I can see lots and lots of colours. Oh, I tried to tap the screen for you. You can see lots of colours in here. And there's one right there. And let's find a bead to go with that. This one will do. I think I might end off the thread with this one. Come on. And, oh, I've gone the wrong way. Stitch up a new needle. I'll come back over here. You can tease the bead back over where I want it to go. There we go. So I'm just going to stitch off here. Whoops. All right. I will leave it here and I'll be back with some more beading. So I'm back to finish the March calendar. I've stitched that down there, as you can see. I'm going to do some overcast stitching with this beautiful pink, but this is a bit plain. So what I'm thinking was I might just use my watercolours, and I have that flower, and I had another flower, but she's disappeared. Oh, there she is, on this side here. But it's still looking a little bit, you know, bare. So I'm going to do my best to do a little bit of painting. Whether that will work, I don't know. If it doesn't, then I'll cover it over with fabric, or I'll just stitch some. I've got this beautiful cotton here. I can just do some stitches down, but it just seems a little bit too plain. So let's just mix a bit of what I was going to do is actually, it's got brown on my thing, so I need to try and clear that as much as I can. Hopefully that will work now. Actually, where's a bit of fabric? I'll do a tester. That's what I'll do. Let me have a look. Hi. No, not this. I did have a brush. Here it is. Thinking the brushes work better than that. So I need a bit of water. So I'll just come back with a bit of water. The idea is to wet the fabric slightly. If you dab it once, the water just disperses out. and it's better for the water paints. This is the brush where I didn't do the water. Just wondering if it's just going to be too much, or I'll just feather it. Maybe this one might be better. That would do, because when I put my flower over the top, it's going to cover it up anyway, so that'll be fine. Yeah, I like that. All right, so we'll leave it there before I go any further and ruin it. And it will dry. I'm not the expert at using watercolours, but you know, there's room to practice. So that's going on. So now that will just dull it down a little bit. And by the time that goes on, you can still see the word there, and then I'm going to go over it in my thingamybob. My pink thread. And I did say this was all about colour. So that I think I've hit the brief with that. Right, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Let's just pin down these. If the pin will go through. I could come in a little bit more here. Just think of what I'll do that. I hate points on the top of the things. Right. Yep. So I wanted to see that little flower there. Pin. Might bring it down slightly. Sorry, because that's the top part of my thing. go in the bin. I'll find a pin. I think it's not very sharp. There we go. Okay, we can get rid of this. There goes something on the floor for my pen. That's all right, I don't need it. Right, let's needle up a needle. Now this is a very fine piece of silk thread, and I think you have to use chenille needles for them. 24. Let's have a look at them. Yep. All I'm doing is trying to get one out. Today's a lovely sunny day. No rain. We won't get rain for a while now. We're just coming into autumn, so obviously we've got to wait for the rain to come. The idea is to go through your stitches and over the top of them. So every month when I do my calendar, I'm trying to create a different way of stitching the letters. I've done ribbon. What did I do for February? Oh, I did chain stitch. For January's ribbon, I did chain stitch for February, and now this is March. I'm just trying to do a little bit more practice on, different certain things, and hopefully you'll get to see that as well. So the idea of the extra ribbon thread is to create a different look on top of the pink. See how that looks different now? But I still think I like it actually like that. So if I get a little bit further in and I don't like it, then I would just simply pull it out. It's hard to know what it's going to look like. You've got it in your head, but when you see it down on paper, on fabric, it's hard to know. Just come up here. Probably should use the other side of my needle so I don't jagger the thread with the sharp point. And don't pull too tight or you'll lose your colour in the thread. What I could do is do every second one. I wonder what that would look like. Probably not. Oh, it seems to be all right there. That might look much better. We're just going to go down and we're just going to come up slightly to try and go under and over, under, over. So I'm going to miss one and go over one. I want to see what that looks like. Probably not. Oh. Miss one, over one. No. No. Oh, hang on. Let's just stick to the plan at first. Let's go all the way down to the M. Yeah, see, that's too much of a bigger gap. So that's not going to work. If I can't pull it out, I will just chop it. It's only the tiniest little bit out of the whole thing. And I'm still thinking I like March just on its own. But you've got to give these things a go. Otherwise you won't know what's happening here. There's a bit of green thread there. I was thinking, gee, that's not the right colour. Is it going to come? Probably not. Too tight. So I will just chop it off here. Otherwise I'll just waste all the thread. All right, let's do something else instead. We'll fix that up later. Let's go round the flower. It's this beautiful thread, and I know I've got it probably way too long. When you have your thread too long, it decides it wants to tangle it in itself. So all I'm going to do is just go over the stitches, do an overcast stitch with a little bit of gap. And I will continue this and I'll be back. So here is my finished piece, March. I've hemmed all the way around the edges, just with a little bit of running stitch. And that's the back. Oh, there's a pin there. Get that out. I don't know where I put my pins. There we go. Yep. So very happy with March. And I look forward to seeing what you do. If you want to put yours up on the Facebook group, Sewbits-Kristy, you just got to answer the questions and join, and then I'll join you in. And on to the next one for April. Thank you very much for watching. Now I will pre-record April and May because I'll be away in Europe, and so that's what I'll be doing, and so I've got to get on and do that. And I want to thank you very much everybody for subscribing and liking my channel, and welcome to all the new subscribers that have come along, and all the existing ones that are still there watching me sometimes rabble on about nothing or anything. And that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.